Dear Mr. President, when I first encountered your judicial system in 1994, I was an ignorant 18-year-old, still trying to figure out who I was as a man. I was an unguided, immature, and troubled lost soul, with no idea or clue as to what I was doing in the inner city streets of Elm City, New Haven, Connecticut. Despite knowing that selling drugs, carrying firearms, and assaulting individuals violated both our moral and criminal laws, as an uneducated and problematic teenager, I did not understand the severity and consequences of my actions. I didn't comprehend that I could receive a 25-year prison sentence for the felonies I was senselessly committing. Even though I understood the reality of prison from an outsider's perspective, I never thought I would become an inner-city statistic. I never imagined I would become part of the 82% until June 21, 1994, when I became Connecticut inmate number 22090-069. My first experience with your prison system was frightening, to say the least. Despite the limited educational programs available, my survival and well-being meant more to me than a general equivalency diploma. My manhood and safety meant more to me than any program afforded by your Department of Corrections. At that time in my life, I was left with only two options: fight or be victimized. The prison system I was subjected to was nothing more than an animal house designed to harden or destroy me. As an impressionable young man, already fueled by the anger and rage of my childhood, it hardened me. My first altercation ended with another prisoner in the intensive care unit and me in the hole. I did not enter prison intending to assault other prisoners or correctional officers. I desperately wanted to change my life and become rehabilitated. However, after observing young men being raped, assaulted, humiliated, and broken by both prisoners and prison staff, I concluded that I would rather kill or be killed than become a victim of your tactics. After seeing a young man burned to death by his own so-called gang brothers over a drug debt, I realized that if I wanted to survive, I would have to become numb and animalistic. Fortunately, I neither murdered anyone nor was seriously injured. Yet, understanding my condition and knowing I was up against systemic racism, I assaulted several individuals, including your staff, and turned a 5-year prison sentence into an 8-year nightmare. I spent approximately 23 months of that 8-year term in administrative segregation, notably the hole. Isolation deterred me from hurting others, but the physical and mental torture inflicted by your prison staff drove me to become angrier, hateful, and cold. Once released after 6.5 years, I picked up a gun within 11 days and senselessly fired a bullet into another troubled young man's mouth. I inflicted pain on others to make them feel the anger and pain you inflicted on me. Living a reckless life, I ultimately graduated from state-run facilities into your Federal Bureau of Prisons. I wonder if the system you designed molded me into the animal I became. Despite being a criminal, I was also an 18-year-old troubled young man who needed help, guidance, and understanding. I found none behind your concrete walls. Falling victim to the abnormalities of prison life and succumbing to the violence, I became what most Americans consider a career offender, ex-felon, convict, and statistic. Even though I have taken full responsibility for my past actions and am now free, I understand that regardless of what I do, I will forever be stigmatized. Despite my transformation, in the eyes of many, including yours, I will always be inmate number 22090-069. I thank you for the pain and unforgettable experiences you have given me, Mr. President. I thank you for creating the untamed beast who is now an OG and number. Your son, number 22090-069.